All right, so are you ready for this? We're diving into some files on this Gemini Academy thing. It's got like this futuristic sound to it right there.
Teknologi.
We've got like a certificate, training notes, even what look like AI-generated test questions, all from Malaysia. So let's see if we can like piece together what Gemini Academy even is.
Yeah.
Okay, so first up, this certificate from a Gemini Academy presentation looks pretty official.
Label.
And it's awarded to an Alvin Tan Leong Leng for completing Google's Gemini Academy 2024. Hold on, Google's.
Yeah, that's the first thing that jumps out at me. It's not from a school using Google Tech.
Hmm.
The certificate itself says Google's Gemini Academy. That kind of suggests like a direct link, maybe even a pilot program.
And check this out. There's no institution name, just Google's Gemini Academy 2024. What's that tell us?
It could be a few things, like maybe it's so new they haven't figured out like formal branding yet. Or this could be Google like testing the waters with a more hands-on approach to educational tech, partnering directly with schools.
Okay, so we've got this connection to Google, but what is Gemini Academy? Let's look at this Gemini prompts section. And wow, these are incredibly detailed. These aren't just your typical like creative writing prompts. We're talking like specific instructions for generating tests assessments for 13-year-old students.
Right, this is where it gets really interesting. So one prompt wants multiple choice answers arranged from shortest sentence to longest, and then another specifies using like text messages, pictures, even ads as question material.
Whoa. It's like they're talking to an AI that like designs tests, which knowing what we know about AI development, that's not far-fetched.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this isn't about replacing teachers or anything. This is about giving them like really powerful tools. Imagine being able to just like feed specific parameters into a system and get a like customized test perfectly tailored to each student's needs.
Yeah, that would free up so much time for teachers to actually like teach,
Yeah,
right?
totally.
No more late nights grading. They could focus on like creativity and student interaction. This could be huge for personalized learning.
Absolutely. This kind of AI has the potential to like totally revolutionize education as we know it.
Right.
But it also brings up a lot of questions, like how do we ensure these AI-generated tests are actually effective? What about potential biases in the algorithms?
Oh, you're bringing up some really crucial points. This tech is seriously fascinating, but we have to think about the ethical implications as well. It's not just about what AI can do, it's about how we use it responsibly.
And that brings us to another piece of this whole puzzle. So we've got a certificate and prompts hinting at Google being involved in AI for education. But what does it actually look like in practice?
You mean like, how does this play out in a real classroom? Well, let's move on to this next document, shall we?
Please do, because this memo from St. Mary's School might give us some answers.
Okay, so we've got this memo from St. Mary's School in Kuala Lumpur. It's to all the teachers there, and it's titled LDP Fun with Gemini.pdf. Wait, Fun with Gemini.
I know, right? You don't see fun and AI together too often. Especially not in teacher training, am I right?
Seriously. Usually professional development for new tech is like the opposite of fun. It's all jargon and manuals and like trying to stay awake in the back row. So what's the deal with this?
Well, the memo itself is about this training session. It's called Program Pengintegrasian Teknologi AI, Gemini Academy, dalam Pendidikan, which I think translates to like integration of AI technology, Gemini Academy in education program or something like that.
Okay, that's a mouthful, but it sounds like the same Gemini Academy as that certificate we talked about.
Exactly. And remember how the certificate didn't say anything about a specific school? This time it's a whole school staff getting prepped on Gemini Academy, not just one person.
So it's like Google's rolling this out more broadly, at least in Malaysia. And the timing is interesting, too. This memo is from September 24th, 2024, with the training just a few days away on September 30th.
Yeah, it does make you wonder if this is like a super fast rollout. Maybe they're testing out different approaches at the same time, like individual certifications, full school professional development. Who knows what else they're trying?
True. But going back to that title for a sec, Fun with Gemini, it feels very intentional, right? Like they're trying to make AI seem less scary and more approachable for these teachers.
Absolutely. It's a really smart move, honestly. If you want teachers to really embrace a new tech, especially something as potentially like disruptive as AI, you got to make it sound fun and engaging.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely suggests a totally different kind of training session than what you'd normally expect. Instead of like a dry technical lecture, maybe it's hands-on, interactive, even playful. Maybe they'll have the teachers actually experiment with those AI test generators we were looking at earlier.
Right. Imagine a training where teachers get to just play around with different prompts, see how the AI responds, and then they can all discuss the possibilities and the challenges together. That's a far cry from the usual PowerPoint presentations, that's for sure.
For real, it really changes the whole narrative around AI in education, doesn't it? It's not about machines replacing teachers, it's about giving teachers new tools to be even more effective.
Exactly. And it highlights something super important about this whole Gemini Academy thing. We're not just talking about some technical shift here. We're talking about a cultural one. How do we get educators comfortable with this tech? How do you make sure it's used thoughtfully and ethically?
Yeah, those are the big questions. And while we definitely don't have all the answers yet, this Fun with Gemini training might give us some clues about how Google's approaching this whole thing.
Yeah.
It seems like they're emphasizing collaboration, creativity, and like a human-centered approach to AI in education.
Definitely. It's not just about the technology itself. It's about how we choose to integrate it into our classrooms and our lives. And that's a conversation worth having.
Okay, so let's recap. We've got Google potentially piloting this Gemini Academy, training teachers in Malaysia with AI tools, and doing it all with a focus on fun. Where do we go from here? What does this all mean for everyone else?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right.
But I
I
think
think the biggest takeaway here is that AI in education isn't like some far-off thing anymore. It's like happening right now,
Yeah.
you know? And this Gemini Academy seems to be like right on the front lines of all this.
it's really like a sneak peek into the future. We always hear about like AI replacing jobs, and education is mentioned a lot with that. But Gemini Academy seems to be taking a totally different approach. It's focusing on AI as like a tool to help teachers not replace them.
Yeah, like giving teachers superpowers.
Yeah.
Imagine being able to analyze student data instantly, like personalize lesson plans, even create real-time feedback and stuff. It could totally change everything.
Yeah, and it's not just about efficiency either. Imagine an AI that can translate languages in real time. That would make classrooms way more inclusive for students from different backgrounds, or one that could like adapt learning materials for different learning styles and needs.
That's incredible. But like we talked about earlier, we got to be careful about the ethical stuff too. How do we make sure this technology is used responsibly and fairly? How do we prevent biases from getting into the algorithms that are shaping how kids are learning?
Exactly. Those are the questions we need to be asking. And that's a conversation that everyone needs to be a part of. Teachers, parents, policymakers, tech people, everyone. We need like clear rules and ethical frameworks for how we develop and use AI in education.
It's a lot to consider for sure, but that's what's so interesting about this whole deep dive. We're seeing a technology with the potential to like completely revolutionize education, but we have a responsibility to use it wisely.
And this isn't just about education either. This whole shift toward using AI as a tool to empower people has implications for every field. Think about it. What tasks in your job could be automated? What if you could free up more time for creativity, problem solving, actually connecting with people?
That's a good point. It's something I'll definitely be thinking about. It's like that Fun with Gemini training. It reminds us that like approaching new technology with curiosity and a sense of play can lead to some really amazing things.
Absolutely. And who knows, maybe in a few years we'll be like, remember when AI in education was this big scary thing?
We'll probably laugh about how much things have changed.
From your mouth to the digital god's ears, as they say. Well, I think that about wraps up our deep dive into Gemini Academy. This is just the beginning of a much bigger conversation, though, don't you think? I totally agree. And I'm really interested to see where it goes from here.
Me too. Thanks for coming on this journey into the future of education with us, everyone. Until next time, stay curious.